What's up, Sooner Nation softball fans? It's Sunday night. We are on here to have a little chat about really the comings and goings of the OU softball team, Jay. Lost some in the portal. They've added two with Isabela, Emerling, and Abby Dayton most recently today. Abby Dayton out of Utah. Of course, it's interesting, Jay, because almost every and I don't want to say every, but there are so many portal decisions in the last, I don't know, 5 days. How many of those have been at SEC? Nearly all of them. OSU landed one today. I mean, SEC is where it's at in softball.
Yeah, look at Oklahoma's three they lost in the portal. They all end up at SEC schools. Avery Hodge to LSU, and then you got S.J. Guerin to Auburn, and then Quincy Lilio to South Carolina. So OU will be playing them this year, so that'll be interesting. But, looking at Abby Dayton, the newest Sooner, if you checked out the video we did earlier, kind of breaking down her stats, but, 431 average last year, and highest average by a Utah player since 1994. So unbelievable. So
and I want to clarify for all the viewers that are on here. We go live every night at 9:30. Tonight we felt like it'd be good to have a softball live at 8:30 because there's been a lot happening. And as Tori says, everybody wants to know about Nijaree Canady. What is going on? How soon will she make a decision of where she's going to go? Again, I feel very confident, Jay, but and I thought the decision would be within 48 hours of this weekend. So by Tuesday, I think you think it's going to drag on a little bit. But yeah, we do have a live every night at 9:30. In fact, we'll be on at 9:30 tonight for another live talking a lot of football news because OU's stepping up the game there in recruiting.
That's right. And hey, you mentioned Canady. That's the one. I mean, it's funny. You see these commits to Oklahoma, and you see a lot of people saying, "Oh man, it's not Canady." Listen, OU's got 5 open spots. They got 3 more spots. So every Go Boomer tweet's not going to be Canady. But I do think yes. I mean, I would say Canady probably has it narrowed down in her mind to a couple of schools, if I had to guess. Now, where she's going to end, I don't know. There's a lot of people that think Canady knew when she entered the portal where she was going. I don't personally believe that. That's just me. I don't know. I don't claim to know. I'm just saying I think there's a couple of schools that are heating up for that race, and I do think OU's one of them, obviously.
Yeah, and Fang. I knew you would know because Fang knows all when it comes to OU softball. Fang, I think Fang has dropped that in there or is going to. And Jay,
here's the bigger question. That's the bigger question. If they don't land Canady, where do they go in the pitching realm? That's
the thing because you talk about what OU's added, Jay, with catcher, with outfield. And me personally, I like Riley Holtorf. I think she's going to end up being a Sooner. Me personally, that's a middle infielder. And then I expect 1, maybe 2 pitchers. You have to land one. If you don't land Canady, though, there's not a lot out there outside of the Louisiana pitcher that ended OU's long winning streak.
Yeah, not a whole lot of names in the portal right now. Like you said, the Louisiana pitcher that did beat up.
There are graduates who can add later, though.
Yeah, I just don't know if there's going to be many, Jeremy. I think you're looking at it's kind of like Canady, obviously all in on Canady. And then if you don't, I think, yeah, you pick up a pitcher, but as far as it helps this team next year a whole lot, I mean, here's the thing. Kelly Maxwell last year was a massive portal addition. I mean, huge. Could say probably the biggest portal addition Patty's had until this year if you land Canady. So I don't know. And the other thing about Canady is it's not only getting her to Oklahoma, it's keeping her away from other top schools. I think that's a big thing too, because you look at Texas or Florida as options, man. If they were to grab Canady with their bats and their lineup, they would be really dang good. So,
yeah, look, SEC is going to be unbelievable. Uncle Charlie asked, do we know who any of the graduates are?
Here's the thing. It's very hard nowadays without the COVID year. There was a lot of times that COVID year they would graduate and then they still had another year. It's not as cut and dry to me anymore to find that stuff. I don't know if anybody else knows that in here, but Jeremy, I don't think graduate transfer wise, there's going to be much out there.
Yeah, I don't expect there to be either. And Jay, I mean, obviously, let's talk about what OU's got. Go ahead, Jay.
Real quick, I was going to mention, you do have Stevie Hansen from Oregon. I don't believe she's committed anywhere.
She has not, that I've seen.
She had a bad year last year. She had a really good year the year before, I think, winning 20 games. Bad year last year. But who knows? Maybe it changes here. The other one would be the South Carolina freshman that entered the portal. Name escapes me right now off the top of my head without having information in front of me. But she's a really good pitcher. She was a freshman last year, had a good freshman year. I think that could be a name. And then you have the Louisiana pitcher. That's a good point. And by the way, Emerling, a graduate transfer in 3 years, double major. Unbelievable smarts.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I agree with you, Greg, and here's why. First off,
I disagree.
No, listen. If she was going to Texas, first off, yeah, they would be loaded. However, I don't see her for playing for Mike White. Me personally.
Okay, take out Mike White though.
You can't.
I know you can't, but listen to me. Listen.
You can't take him out, Jay.
Listen to me. I don't like on the comment says there is no way Texas gets Kenny. I don't think you can say that. I don't think you can say no way.
Okay, maybe not no way, but hey, Greg got talking about Holtorf. Yeah, I think Holtorf's the next likely one. And Jay, what about Arkansas today?
Yeah, Kaylee Wyckoff goes to Arkansas. That's a big pickup for them. They had lost one of their catchers, Brockman, I believe, maybe the name, to the portal. So that's a big get. Another SEC getting a portal edition. Shocker. I mean, SEC is just loading up right now in softball.
Let's talk about the 2 additions that OU has gotten in the portal. We can talk about the 3 that left. But before we do, fanstop.com, everybody. If you're a softball fan, and by the way, I know someone last night said no one cares. Wrong. Tons of people care about OU softball. Evident by how many are on this live. Check out fanstop.com. Links are in the description. Get your 4-piece shirt, okay? Soft apparel. You'll love it. Greg says if Canady doesn't announce before Japan, Kenzie will convince her. Let's talk about Abby Dayton, who I absolutely love what she brings to the table because the no-fly zone, in my opinion, will still be out there. She can really cover a lot of ground in the outfield. And I really, really like particularly the batting, the hitting of Emerling. Now, Robert says how many openings? Yeah, there's 3, and they're going to fill all 3.
I think, yeah, they'll fill all 3. They have 3 openings. Very little power. Are you talking about Dayton, I believe? I mean, you talk about Dayton. I think she had 6 triples, I believe, last year, 6 or 7 triples. And her average is unbelievable. That's the thing about her. Batting over 400. And, hey, somebody probably you put in at the top of the lineup, gets on base a lot. I think that's a great addition. All Pac-12 first team. Like I said, it's a great addition.
Yeah. Jay, talk about the Louis. Look, Hunter, I don't know if Hunter's on here. He was busy earlier. If we can find her stats, but the one stat that stands out is she went all innings against OU.
8 innings. 8 innings against OU. She got the win as they upset Oklahoma. Here's what I think. I think she's a good pitcher. She's not when you look at. She's a really good pitcher. She's not a elite. And the question is for Oklahoma, do they need? And I'm going to pose this to everybody in the chat here. Does Oklahoma need an elite arm on top of Canady, Lowry, and Monticelli to win a Natty next year? That's the question I ask you.
On top of Canady?
No, on top of Deal, Monticelli, and Lowry.
Look, I think they do, Jay. And look, I like Monticelli. I like Kirsten Deal, and I absolutely love what Audrey Lowry brings in as a freshman. However, Canady solidifies what you really need, and that's a go get it. Yeah, I mean, hey, I want to clarify something I said earlier, Jay. I didn't say that Canady wants a female coach. That's not what I meant by saying she's not going to play for Mike White.
Somebody put it in the chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what I meant is she really Look, guys, you've got to talk more about Jen Rocha. What Jen Rocha does with the staff is unbelievable. It doesn't happen everywhere. And like Greg says, yeah, Rocha can make a good pitcher great. And what's she going to make a great pitcher? That's the scary thing.
Look what she did with Maxwell. I think she got better. Hey, John.
Maxwell was already great. She became better.
Thanks for joining, John. I agree with this 1,000%. Look at players like Riley Boone. She was massive for this team. Got on base.
Kenzie Hansen didn't hit 20 home runs a year, and she was phenomenal.
Yeah. Uncle Charlie does think they need an elite pitcher. I agree, Soonerbo. I do think Holtorf. I'm just wondering on Holtorf with the wedding and with that, how that's going to work. So
yeah, timetable. They're already popping fireworks in your neighborhood, Jay. Fireworks are coming to Norman, hopefully within the next 48 hours. That's what I hope as Canady maybe makes a decision. But look, there's two sides when you talk about Canady, Jay. You can either, and I'm going to use the analogy you've always used. You can either slay the giant and be a part of that group, right? Or you can join the giant.
Hey, you're right.
And what does Canady want to do? I don't know. I mean, if she goes to Texas, she would have a great opportunity to be one of the ones to slay the giant. But also, this fifth natty that OU is in chase of will actually, more than likely, if they were to get it, be the most difficult, in my opinion. You're moving to the SEC. You lost 10 seniors. There's that to say, hey, I want to be that person who helps lead this team because they, frankly, don't have a lot of senior leaders, Jay, at all.
Yeah, you're right. The experience is probably the biggest issue for Oklahoma going into this year. But you also got to remember there was a time when Jada Coleman, Kenzie Hansen, all these players were freshmen too. So I think there's a fine line of, yes, you got to get transfer portal players, but you also got to bring the freshmen along. And so I think that's the most important thing. But also, you mentioned Nijaree. Here's the thing. If you're Canady, you've played 2 years and carried Stanford on your back, period. End of discussion. No backs hardly to get you there. Got into the World Series, got to pitch in elite games, but you haven't had a chance to pitch in the game. And to me, there's two factors for her. She probably, I don't know this. I'm just saying my opinion. One, where can I go pitch in the national? I don't think it's even a thing about winning the natty because I think mentally she thinks if she gets to pitch in the natty, she's going to win it. I think she's that strong-headed and she's that good of a talent that if she gets there, she'll win it. So I think that's one. The other one is I do think NIL's got to be a factor for somebody like this because here's the reason why. After college is over, wherever she goes, she's probably going to make more money in college than she will in a pro, where on the pro circuit, which isn't a whole lot right now. So pro circuit wise. So I think it is a factor. I don't know details, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, and I agree with Greg when he said that, I mean, she's going to be leaving town to go to Japan soon. I think the decision will be made before that. Kelly, thanks for joining us tonight. Kelly says Florida just got a pitcher from the portal. That's right. And they got a bunch of freshman pitchers. I agree, although the battery of combo of Canady and Erickson would be absolutely elite.
Hey, let me throw a scenario question out there. We talked a little bit about it on our live last night. I want the viewers to comment. Take away the OU crimson-colored glasses for a second. If you're Canady, let me just give you three teams: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma. Where do you think her going gives her the best chance of a natty?
You already know my opinion on this.
You say OU.
Wherever Canady goes, they're going to be the favorite.
No, out of those three teams, Jeremy, which one gives her the best chance at a natty is what I'm asking.
Texas and Florida have probably more veterans, deeper staff.
Kelly says Oklahoma.
Kelly agrees with me. That's right, Kelly.
That's right. I'd like to see everybody's comments because I do think a lot of people will say OU in this.
And there it is. Jay,
Chuck says Texas.
Yeah, Chuck says Texas. And
Paul says OU. I'd like to take a poll and see it. I think Florida's really loaded as well.
And Rafe does mention something that I think we have to talk about. OU lost 10 seniors. So, and I'm not exactly sure on everything NIL-wise, but they should have some money to go out and get a candidate. I think people are underestimating and downplaying Canady's commitment really to I'm not sure this is an all NIL thing is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, I definitely don't think it's all NIL.
You listen to her parents talk. You listen to that. I think it's more than that. No one's thrown out the joining of Jordy Ball in Nebraska, which is close to Topeka. I don't think that's going to be it.
Fanstop says, oh, yes, Patty. That is the one factor that no other team can say they have. Patty Gasso, who's proven it. She is the best coach in softball history. You can say it. So you do have that going for you. And you have the best pitching coach in the nation. And I think a lot of people, and the reason I asked the question was this, because I think nationally, your answer nationally would be, and this is not anything to do with OU, but national media, national people would say Florida or Texas probably because of what they're returning. And I think people sometimes just don't think about the fact that freshmen that are really talented can come in and be dominant. Look at Ella Parker and Cassie Pickering. Guys, they carried this team. I'll say there was games in the postseason where without them, they don't win the games. So it can be done with freshmen. OU has a really talented group coming in. That's the reason I asked it. I think if you look roster-wise, Florida right now offensively, really good. They picked up the shortstop out of Alabama, Callahan. They already had a really good lineup. You got Erickson, you got Pidgers. They're really good.
Oh, they're really good.
I do think Texas is really good. My concern on Texas is, my opinion, I don't think Mike White. I think he's a really good recruiter. I think he's a good coach. I don't know if he's a lead coach in postseason play yet. To get there, but to win it, can he win it? That's the big one.
Jay, they would have won had they not faced OU. The problem is they cannot beat OU, and he knows it. He absolutely knows it. Duke is another one. Ron mentions Duke. Duke is another team that is going to be really, really good next year, and one of the favorites probably at least to be top 8 going into the postseason.
Yeah. And the other thing people don't talk a lot about on the Canady situation is the travel with Stanford this next year. Without the Pac-12 is no longer, guys. So the travel that they're going to be doing and doing academics, it's a lot. It just is. So I do think that is an issue. And I do think if you're Canady, just Jeremy, you mentioned Nebraska. I'm just going to throw it out there. You mentioned it. If you go to the Big Ten to play softball, or are you going to go to the SEC? I think she's going to go where the best teams are because I think she's elite and wants to play the best. So I think it will be an SEC team.
That's what Paul says as well. Add the SEC factor where it just means more. Chuck says 5 people will be super hard. I actually saw a video where people were saying that this last year going into the season, it's really hard to win one after you won 3 in a row. And I'm thinking they had 10 seniors, so I don't really want to hear that. This year, however, it will be really hard.
John, I do think UCLA is going to pretty much win that. I think UCLA, they have really young pitchers who are talented.
And
they're good.
Nebraska may be runner up there, Jay.
I think Nebraska is very improved from last year. I do.
And one thing about Duke, they are just as far as from Topeka as Stanford was.
And that's why Moser's asking. I don't think she would, Moser. I'm just saying that's an option people have thrown out there. I don't think she would end up there.
I tell you why USC isn't a power in softball, Ron, because UCLA is their neighbor, and they get all the players. OU and OSU have done a pretty good job. And listen, I'll talk to someone else.
Hey, you want to hear something funny? I didn't know USC had a softball team.
Yeah, and Jay, let me say this: OU, Oklahoma, the state of Oklahoma is unbelievable in softball. TU is building a nice team there at TU. So the state of Oklahoma is great. Fanstop says 5 people will be hard with the transfer portal. It's obtainable. Absolutely is, especially when you're OU.
And that's what I thought. I don't think they had one. That's why I said that. I didn't think they did. Thank you. I didn't think they did. I just wanted to clarify it.
When did they actually not have it, Jay?
They haven't had a team in a while from what I've watched.
You're not going to compete with UCLA, Jay.
Well,
I don't.
Real quick. You see how many fans show up for their football games, and it's the mecca of college football, apparently, from Lincoln Riley. How many do you think show up for the softball? Probably not that much. Hey, real quick, I want to say something.
Well, yeah, because there's no game.
The portal, and I think the way Patty's doing the portal, 3 or 4 players a year, your needs, what you really need, maybe 1 or 2 players to get you up to the edge to win an Natty is the perfect way to do it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna hit that up again with FanStop. Appreciate the comment. Fanstop.com. You can get on the Shirt of the Month Club. A shirt every month. 10% off your first 3 months if you use code SURGE. But also, really, for all you softball fans, check out the links in the description. There's the two pictures of the national championship shirts, officially licensed. You will not be disappointed. I'm wearing one right here. Again, super soft. It's amazing. Jay, someone mentioned Nijaree Canady's the academic. I'm not sure what her major is, but
I thought I saw something. This may be wrong, so don't quote me that for sure. Is that she hadn't declared yet because you didn't have to declare until you're after a sophomore year at Stanford. I don't know that to be true. I don't know what she wants to major in. Her major softball, Mark says.
And Mark, I 100% agree. Right now, that's what it is.
Undeclared. Thanks, Kelly. Appreciate it.
She's going to play softball for a long time.
Yeah, Richard, I did see that her brother's committed to her at Cal. I don't know of anything that OU recruited. I don't think so.
No, I have not seen that.
Listen, I don't think, personally, I don't think that's going to matter a whole lot in this situation. Just me. I mean, unless she ends up at UCLA, which you got to travel with that too. I think she's going to go to the SEC conference, if I had to guess.
Yeah. Hey, so let's just start real for fun, Jay. It's way too early. Let's say OU doesn't land Canady right now because she has not committed or anything. But let's start looking at this lineup because there are so many positions up for grabs. I mean, you got Sydney Sanders at first. That's going to be a lock. You got Cassidy Pickering at one of the outfield spots. She will not play center. So you got that. And then you got Ella Parker, who's going to be an EH, likely. I don't think she'll play in the field. Outside of those three, pretty much all the others up for grab. Obviously, if Riley Holtorf comes, she'll be the shortstop more than likely. I'm not going to just say that Patty's just going to say there. But how fun is this battle series going to be, Jay? And wait, before we do that, Ron, first base should not be up for grabs. First base is locked. Sydney Sanders is the first baseman until she leaves the university. Okay.
Well, I do think she needs to have a really good offseason hitting. I think she'll have a better season next year. But, hey, Dayton's center fielder, I bet too. Hey,
Abby Dayton should be center field.
If I had to guess, now listen, here's the thing we haven't talked about is let's just say you don't land Canady, that gives you 3 spots. I do think they're taking one pitcher at least, maybe 2. The other positions, I don't think they're going to take another infielder. I think they're loaded that infielder coming in from the recruiting. So I think you might take an outfielder, perhaps just because of Hannah Core's second back surgery, maybe. The other one, guys, I don't know. I think maybe you're looking at probably 2 pitchers out of the portal, I think. I just don't know who they're going to be if you don't land Canady, to be honest. If you want my honest opinion, I don't know who the 2 would be.
And Monty said he saw Isabela playing third base in a UNC Kentucky game.
She's played a little. And that's the thing with what they have at catcher. They have 2 really good freshmen coming in, and Riley's the kid, and Tori Hicks. So that could happen. Maya Bland. Here's the thing. I think Maya Bland with Chaney Hilton in the outfield will be battling for that other outfield spot. I think, Kelly. That's what I would guess. I dropped another name, Aliana Agbiani, shortstop pitcher from BYU. Oh, now that's true. I guess I didn't realize she was in the portal.
Has she? I didn't see that she had entered the portal, Jay. Is she a graduate, or did I just miss it?
Maybe we just missed it. So thanks for the info, Fang. That would be a good addition as well.
Hey, Maya Bland is going to start, Jay. I think.
You do?
You were lagging there. I think Maya Bland is going to start, and I think Nellie Mack likely is going to be the third baseman. Likely. That's what I think.
Yeah, showed up late on the 18th, right before it closed. Last minute entry. There you go. Yeah, she did hit a bomb, Monty. So
I trust Fang, so I'm sure that's correct.
That would be a huge addition, actually.
Look, I think OU needs Hannah Core to recover from back surgery. She would be able to be great as far as at least getting some time. And, she's been there. She's more of a veteran than really anyone else they have. But Chaney Hilton coming in is going to be a great center fielder. Now, Likely not next year, but maybe. You don't know. I mean, the way those two freshmen played this year, Jay, a freshman can come in and make an impact immediately.
I agree. And Fang, that to me is one you would love to get. I mean, Agbiani would be unbelievable. I mean, I've been watching her. I remember watching her not against Oklahoma. I think it was against OSU last year. Yeah, she's an unbelievable hitter. Unbelievable. So appreciate you dropping that in there, Fang.
And Patty, I'm sure, knows those stats because she's well aware of her for sure. Yeah, that'd be great. Absolutely great.
Yeah, here we go with the who's on third, who's on first. John says guaranteed Patty will be in on Agbiani. Yeah, I would think so too, since she's in the portal. And that, hey, if you were to, let's just say right now you're at 2. Let's just say your last 3 were Riley Holtorf, Agbiani, and Canady. As the Vince Carter meme is, it's over.
It's over, yeah. Former Bat Buster, Orange County Bat Busters. Orange County Bat Busters, Mike Stiff, head coach. Yep, there's been a lot of success come this way to Norman from Orange County.
Correct.
Jay, I want to say something before we get off here. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, hit the subscribe button so you'll be updated and notified. Turn your notifications on anytime that we go live, because as the portal progresses and OU gets a few more, which they will, we'll be doing some more lives. We have another live at 9:30 tonight, but for anyone who says that OU softball, that no one cares about it, you're wrong, okay? You're absolutely wrong. The amount of people who care about OU softball is phenomenal. We love it.
That's right. And maybe end it with this comment right here, Richard.
This is a great way to end it, Richard.
If you can't say something bad about Texas, don't say anything at all. So there you go. Hey, also, go ahead, Jern.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, appreciate everybody on here tonight. Kelly, thanks for joining. Robert, a lot of people on here. All of y'all, thank you so much. Great discussion as always. Fang, thanks for the inside. Thanks for the scoop on BYU, correcting that. Appreciate it. And guys, we'll be live again in about 30 minutes, but you guys have a good night, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Maybe another Go Boomer tweet.
Boomer.